I'm in trouble! Send money now! Ugh.
Fight back. Verify calls, use codes, and report scams. The future of trust starts now.
Imagine this. Your child, a vibrant teenager, receives this terrifying text.
Okay,
It's an AI-generated nude image of themselves. And right with it, there is this demand for $3,000.
wow.
The threat is just chilling. Pay up or this image goes to all their friends, their family. And this isn't some far-off scenario.
Right.
This was the tragic reality for Elijah Heacock. He died by suicide shortly after getting that exact message.
It's just heartbreaking.
It really is. And his parents, in their grief, they later shared with Sieb they'd never even heard the term sextortion until the investigation started.
Never heard of it. That's shocking in itself.
It's a gut-wrenching, truly devastating example of just how rapidly our digital world is, well, transforming. AI isn't just making scams more common.
No, it's more than that.
It's making them hyper-personal, incredibly convincing, and frankly, far more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So the urgent question really is, what can you do? How do you protect yourself, your loved ones from this relentless new wave of deception?
It's the critical question right now.
Our mission in this deep dive is to try and pull back the curtain on these complex layers of AI-enabled deception and hopefully arm you with the critical knowledge you'll need to navigate this new digital landscape safely with some confidence.
Okay.
Okay, let's try and unpack this.
And when you talk about urgency, I mean, the sheer scale of this problem is truly startling.
Yeah.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, for instance, they received over 500,000 reports, 500,000?
Just in the last year.
In the last year alone, targeting minors with sextortion. Think about that number, 500,000 children.
That's staggering.
And the FBI, they estimate that since 2021, at least 20 young lives have tragically been lost to suicide specifically because of these sextortion scams.
Oh, man.
And chillingly, a huge chunk of these, over 100,000 of those NCMEC reports just this year, involved generative AI.
So AI is actively being used in these?
Actively. And what's particularly concerning, something we've seen consistently, is that teen boys have been disproportionately targeted.
Really? Boys specifically?
Yes, that's a noticeable trend in the data.
When you hear those numbers, it just makes you wonder, how did we get here so fast? What makes these scams so, incredibly easy to pull off with AI now?
Well, that's precisely the point, isn't it? This isn't about, super sophisticated hackers in the old sense anymore.
Right.
Dr. Rebecca Portnow, she's the head of data science at Thorn. That's an organization fighting child exploitation. She put it incredibly starkly.
What did she say?
She said, and I'm quoting here, "You don't actually need any technical skills at this point to create this kind of illegal and harmful material."
No technical skills needed.
Exactly. What that means for you, for everyone, is that the barrier to entry for these scammers has, it's completely vanished. They're well-organized, disturbingly well-financed, and absolutely relentless.
Relentless.
They don't need real photos anymore. Can just generate whatever they want and then use that horrific fake content to blackmail children. The manipulation, the ease of creation. It's truly terrifying.
Yeah. So it's the accessibility just as much as the sophistication that's really changed the game here.
Requiesce.
It makes you realize how fast this whole landscape is evolving. And, while sextortion is horrifying, that's really just one piece of a much larger, darker puzzle, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. What's truly fascinating and worrying is how generative AI, or Gene AI, is broadening the scope of these scams far, far beyond just sextortion.
Okay.
There's data from TRM Labs, for example, showing an alarming 456% increase in Gene AI-enabled scam reports just between May 2024 and April 2025.
456%?
Yeah.
In 1 year?
Yes, it's an explosion. These easily accessible AI tools have, they've supercharged basically every type of online fraud you can imagine.
So what's at the heart of this?
At the very heart of many of these new scams are deepfakes, hyper-realistic synthetic media.
Right, the fake videos and audio?
Exactly. Created using advanced deep learning techniques, they can manipulate audio, video, any digital content so seamlessly. It becomes incredibly difficult to tell it apart from reality.
So if it's that convincing, what does this actually look like in, your daily life? Are we talking about just better versions of old tricks or completely new kinds of scams?
It's kind of both, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But with this terrifying new layer of believability, scams, for instance, they're reaching just astonishing new levels. We're talking about voice cloning.
Mimicking someone's voice?
Perfectly. Where AI can mimic a person's voice with unnerving accuracy, sometimes from just a few seconds of audio scraped from, say, social media.
A few seconds?
That's all it might take. Think back to January 2024, leading up to the US presidential election.
Okay, I remember something about this.
Right. Tens of thousands of Democratic voters got a robocall. It sounded exactly like President Biden.
Telling them not to vote, wasn't it?
Telling them not to vote in the New Hampshire primaries. And get this, a political consultant paid a hypnotist just $150 to create that fake audio.
$150?
Using a readily available AI platform like 11 Labs. That's how easy and disturbingly cheap it can be to mass produce these deceptions.
That's incredible. So someone could literally hear a voice they trust, assume it's legit, and be led down a really dangerous path.
Precisely, and it goes further. Full deepfake impersonation.
Right.
Where fraudsters create incredibly lifelike videos or images.
So not just audio, but video, too?
Full video. You might get a frantic video call that looks and sounds exactly like a loved one, maybe your grandchild in urgent trouble, desperately asking for money.
The grandparent scam on steroids?
Exactly. Or consider that recent case in Hong Kong. An employee was defrauded out of millions. Millions.
Oh.
After participating in what they thought was a legitimate video call with their company's chief financial officer and other executives.
They were all deepfakes? The whole meeting?
The whole meeting. Sophisticated deepfakes. It wasn't just a voice, it was a convincing video conference.
Yeah.
And even public figures aren't safe. You see these Elon Musk deepfakes all over YouTube sometimes, promoting bogus cryptocurrency schemes.
Right, promising huge returns.
Yeah, and those scams have collectively swindled people out of over $5 million.
It's not just calls and video, though, is it? I mean, what about things like chatbots or email?
Good point. AI chatbots are now impersonating customer service reps with shocking realism.
To get your details.
Exactly. Specifically designed to extract sensitive information or trick you into making bogus payments. And remember those old phishing emails, the ones full of typos?
Yeah, you could usually spot them a mile off.
Well, now AI can generate perfectly professional, absolutely flawless, typo-free phishing emails. They look completely legitimate. Much, much harder to spot.
Okay, that's worrying.
And we're also seeing a significant, really heartbreaking rise in romance scams.
Ah, yes. Those are particularly cruel.
They really are, because they play on human emotion. Scammers use AI-generated images, voices, even videos to create these highly convincing fake personas.
So the whole profile could be fake?
Completely fake. They invest time, sometimes months, building deep emotional connections, building trust, and then once that emotional investment is locked in, victims are pressured to send money. Thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, all under completely false pretenses to a person who literally doesn't exist.
It all makes you wonder then, why? Why is our personal data just the little crumbs we leave online every day? Why is it suddenly so incredibly valuable to these scammers?
Well, think about it. Every piece of data you put out there, no matter how innocuous it seems.
Like a photo or a comment?
Exactly. Your photos, your voice clips from videos, your social media posts, even who you're connected to professionally. It all becomes building blocks for a scammer.
How so?
It's used for hyper-personalization. It lets them tailor scams directly to your interests, your relationships, your vulnerabilities.
Makes the scam feel more real.
Way more real. It's used for targeted marketing, sure, but
Yeah.
more dangerously for direct financial gain through identity theft, through fraud, and perhaps most insidiously, for social engineering.
Using your own info against you.
Precisely. Using your information to manipulate you into giving them access to systems, or money, or more data. That picture of your pet, that comment about your favorite hobby, even a public birthday wish from a relative.
It all adds up.
It all feeds into their ability to create a convincing, weaponized fake of your world.
So if these AI scams are so sophisticated, so tailored, so utterly convincing today, how do you even begin to spot them? It feels, I don't know, like we're caught in a perfect storm here.
You're right. It is incredibly challenging. There was a study actually that found participants could only correctly identify an AI-generated voice about 60% of the time.
Only 60%. That's barely better than Champ.
Exactly. And here's the real kicker.
Mm-hmm.
They actually perceived an AI voice as the real human counterpart around 80% of the time.
So we're more likely to think the fake is real.
That's what the study suggests. Our brains seem wired to believe what we hear and see, especially if it sounds familiar or plausible. Even experts can struggle sometimes.
Right.
So for the average person, it's an even greater challenge to pick out those subtle differences. The goal isn't necessarily become, a forensic expert overnight.
No, of course not.
But it's about being aware that the subtle tells do exist, if you know what to look for, and if you take a moment to actually look.
So what are those tells then? What should we be watching out for when something just feels a bit off?
Okay, so when it comes to visual deepfakes, look for unnatural facial movements, especially around the mouth and eyes. Those areas are still tricky for AI to get perfectly right all the time.
Mouth and eyes, okay.
Pay attention to lighting inconsistencies. Do the shadows or highlights on the person match the supposed light source in the background?
Okay, like mismatched lighting.
Exactly. Watch for sudden, weird skin color changes or unnatural blinking patterns. Are they blinking too slow, too fast? Does it seem inconsistent with the emotion they're supposedly showing?
Right. Blinking seems like a small detail, but telling.
It can be. Also, lip sync issues, even slight delays between the sound and the lip movement, or unnatural jaw movements.
Got it.
And with really high-resolution footage, sometimes you might spot subtle artifacts or sort of unnatural blending around the edges, like the hairline or ears.
Right.
Almost like a blurry halo effect.
Okay, those are good visual tips. What about audio? You said that's harder.
It is much harder, yeah.
Okay.
But engaging in longer, unscripted conversations can sometimes help.
How so?
Well, an AI might struggle to maintain a perfectly natural cadence or tone or emotional inflection over a longer, more spontaneous chat. Scripted stuff is easier to fake.
So try to get them off script, maybe ask unexpected questions?
Potentially, yeah. The key really is to engage that moment of active critical observation. Don't just passively accept what you're seeing or hearing, especially if something feels urgent or slightly strange.
Which brings us to maybe the most important question. What can you actually do to protect yourself when the fakes are getting this good? Where do you even start?
Right. Well, your first, most crucial defense in this whole new landscape is, frankly, radical skepticism.
Radical skepticism. I like that.
Yeah, because when AI makes the fake too real, your most vital tool isn't just, common sense anymore. It's a profound pause.
A pause.
Because when an AI voice perfectly mimics your child's distress, or a deepfake video of your boss demands an urgent wire transfer, that old saying, too good to be true, kind of shifts.
How so?
It becomes too convincingly urgent to be true. That pause, that moment where you just stop and think, wait a second, that becomes your first line of defense against this really sophisticated manipulation.
So if it feels incredibly urgent, demanding money or info right now,
hit the brakes. Trust your gut. Public officials, for instance, they typically don't endorse investment schemes or make weird, urgent offers over the phone or video.
Right. And that pause leads directly to the next critical step, which you really can't overstate. Verify, verify, verify.
Absolutely. This is where you proactively take back control.
How?
Okay, so if a loved one calls you, sounds like they're in distress, or maybe your bank calls about some fraud, hang up.
Just hang up the call.
Hang up. Don't engage further on that call. Instead, you call them back on a known, verified number.
Meaning a number from their official website or one you already have saved in your phone contacts.
Exactly. Absolutely not the number that just called you or one they gave you in the call. This simple act bypasses the scammer completely.
That makes sense.
And here's a powerful, proactive step you can take, especially with close family. Establish a personal verification code or maybe a secret phrase.
Like a safe word?
Kind of, yeah, for urgent situations. That way, if a true emergency ever does arise, you have the secret passphrase to confirm it's really them beyond any doubt.
That's a really practical tip. Okay, So beyond those immediate reactions, what about managing our sort of long-term digital presence? Does that help?
Oh, definitely. Managing your online footprint is increasingly vital. Think about it. Every photo, every voice clip you share, every public post
Becomes training data.
potentially, yes,
Yeah,
training data for scammers. So limit the personal data and especially high-resolution images you share publicly on social media. Make your profiles private if you can.
makes it harder for them to scrape your likeness or voice.
Exactly. It directly reduces the raw material available for them to create convincing deepfakes and craft those highly personalized social engineering attacks.
And okay, it might sound like basic cybersecurity 101, but what about things like passwords and multi-factor authentication, MFA? Are they still important?
More critical than ever, actually. While strong passwords have always been, the bedrock.
Right, use a password manager, long, complex passwords.
Yes, all that is still crucial. But in the age of AI, even strong passwords can be vulnerable. AI can predict patterns or run credential stuffing attacks, trying millions of username or password combinations with incredible speed.
So passwords alone aren't enough.
Increasingly, no. That's why enabling multi-factor authentication, MFA, everywhere you possibly can, it isn't just good practice anymore. It's become your most vital safeguard.
That second step, like a code from your phone,
Exactly. It adds that extra layer that AI's predictive power generally can't bypass alone. It's the difference between having a single lock on your door and having like a bank vault with multiple keys.
good analogy. So definitely enable MFA everywhere and keep using strong, unique passwords. At least 12 characters, mix of numbers, letters, symbols.
Absolutely. Don't reuse passwords across sites.
Right. And finally, by that timeless advice about clicking on links in emails or texts. You mentioned AI makes phishing emails look perfect now.
Yeah, those AI-generated phishing emails can look completely legitimate, removing all the old red flags like typos or weird grammar.
So what do we do?
If you get a suspicious email or text, hover your mouse cursor over any links before you click. That usually lets you preview the actual web address it's going to send you to.
See if it looks dodgy.
Right. But honestly, the best practice, just don't click links in unsolicited messages at all.
Just avoid it altogether.
Yeah? Instead, navigate directly to the official website by typing the address yourself in your browser. And always avoid downloading attachments from unknown senders. They can easily hide malware.
Makes sense. Be proactive, not reactive.
Exactly. And if you do suspect a scam, or worse, if you've unfortunately fallen victim, reporting it is really key.
Who do you report it to?
Gather all the evidence you can, links, screenshots, any metadata, report it immediately to the platform where it happened, like the social media site or email provider, then escalate it.
To the authorities?
Yes, report it to authorities like the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, or the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, which is IC3. Every report helps law enforcement understand these evolving threats and hopefully fight back.
Okay, so individual vigilance is absolutely critical, clearly. But it's also good to know we're not fighting this battle completely alone, right? There are bigger efforts underway.
That's right. It's not just down to individuals. Governments and organizations are responding to this new digital threat landscape.
Like what?
Well, for instance, there's the Take It Down Act in the U.S. It makes it a federal crime to post real or fake sexually explicit images without consent.
And it forces platforms to remove them.
Yes, it requires social media companies and other websites to remove that content within 48 hours of a victim's request. It's a concrete measure.
That's good.
And you have organizations like Thorn, which we mentioned earlier, with initiatives like Safety by Design.
What's that?
It encourages AI companies themselves to build in preventative barriers against misuse right from the start, making ethical considerations part of the core development process, not an afterthought.
Building safety in, not bolting it on later.
Precisely. And what's particularly fascinating now is how blockchain intelligence platforms are integrating AI themselves.
Using AI to fight AI?
Kinda, yeah. They're using AI to help investigators trace illicit funds moving through crypto, for example, and detect criminal patterns much faster than humans could alone. And of course, continuous public awareness campaigns and education, like what we're trying to do here, are absolutely essential to build resilience across society. arming everyone with this knowledge.
Yeah, awareness is key. But, amidst all this doom and gloom about scams, it's also important to remember that AI itself, even deepfake technology, isn't inherently malicious, right?
Absolutely not.
Huh.
The technology's a tool. Its intent, how it's used, determines its impact. And we've seen some truly compelling examples of this tech being used for incredibly positive, even life-changing applications.
Yeah. Let's talk about that positive side for a moment.
Sure. If we connect this to the bigger picture, you see AI driving innovation in so many fields. In entertainment, for instance.
How so?
Deepfakes are being used to de-age actors in films convincingly. That can significantly reduce production costs sometimes, or just allow for more creative storytelling.
Okay, I've seen some examples of that.
Or think about healthcare. Realistic medical training simulations where doctors can practice complex procedures on lifelike virtual patients without any risk to real people.
That sounds incredibly useful.
It really is.
Right.
Or consider voice reconstruction for patients with conditions like ALS, motor neuron disease. AI can help them regain their ability to communicate using a voice that sounds like them. That's profoundly impactful.
Wow, that's amazing, giving someone their voice back.
Exactly.
And beyond healthcare and entertainment.
Well, the possibilities really open up. In marketing, you see deepfakes being used to create incredibly personalized advertisements or even entirely virtual influencers. It makes campaigns potentially more dynamic, more targeted.
Virtual influencers, okay?
In education, we're seeing the development of interactive learning content with personalized virtual tutors, AI that can adapt to each student's individual learning style, making education potentially more engaging and accessible.
Like a personal tutor for everyone.
That's the potential, yes. And culturally, deepfakes are even helping.